Dallas Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
All I have to say is that this competition should be over. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, as we all know, the Chicago Bears have just completed their very first preseason game against the Miami Dolphins, and it was a tie by a score of 24-24. And we saw a lot of positives in this game. First and foremost, I absolutely loved seeing the energy from our new head coach and Ben Johnson when Noah Sewell made that big 4th and goal stop. That's the type of energy that we're going to see all season long. And that's really the reason why these players on this roster respect Ben Johnson, because he's always going to bring the intensity 24/7. And in the very first preseason game, you saw that intensity and that energy that Ben Johnson will bring every single game, every single practice. And obviously, when you have a coach that gets that intense and that hype for plays like that, obviously the players will continue to respond. In regard to a couple of the performances, I have to give a huge shout out for. First and foremost, I really love what I saw from guys like Noah Sewell. I'm a guy that's trying to make the most of his opportunities that he is given. Obviously, Kyle Monangai got a couple of carries in this game as well. He looked really strong as well, and I know that he is competing for that running back 2 position, which he may have a clearer path to earn that spot now, especially with the injury of Roschon Johnson. And then, of course, we have to give a huge shout out to Austin Booker as well. A 3-sack day and also a forced fumble. He definitely looked like a man on a mission. Once again, you try to take these preseason performances with a grain of salt, just realizing that he is going against the 2nd and 3rd string guys. But we're hoping that this would build some confidence for Austin Booker, because the Bears desperately need some production on the other side of Montez Sweat. And they're hoping that Austin Booker can definitely be that guy. He definitely got bigger over the offseason. He looked very, very strong today in the tie against the Miami Dolphins. A guy that, in college on his tape showed that relentlessness, and he definitely showed that today against the Dolphins. So those are just a couple of the performances that I wanted to give a huge shout out to. Bears fans, let me know down below in the comment section of which player you thought played really well in the first preseason game at Soldier Field against the Miami Dolphins. I can't wait to hear from you guys. In regard to some big competition battles that have been going on all summer long during training camp and now going into preseason, is the left tackle battle. And it's an ongoing battle between Braxton Jones, Kiran Amegadjie, and Ozzy Trapilo. And we saw a lot of Trapilo and Braxton Jones. And of course, Kiran Amegadjie is dealing with that injury, so I believe he did not play. So right now, it's really a battle between Braxton Jones and Ozzy Trapilo. And to me, Bears fans, I'm going to say this right here today, on a beautiful Sunday right here on the podcast. This battle should be absolutely over. And I'm going to say it very, very kindly and very straight to the point. Braxton Jones probably lost or cost himself the left tackle job today in the game against the Miami Dolphins. He didn't look good whatsoever. And I know there may be a lot of Bears fans out there saying, well, he's still recovering from that injury, that season-ending injury, that broken fibula last year. But here's my thing. When Braxton Jones came back, he was fully cleared to practice. He even said that he was fully healthy and ready to go. So the expectation was for him to be that vested veteran and hopefully dominate this competition. But it hasn't been that way. We know Braxton Jones was drafted in 2022 in the 5th round. We didn't think he was going to be ready. Now he's back. But he did not have a good outing today against the Miami Dolphins. There was this one play where he absolutely just whiffed on the block. And this was against a, 2nd or 3rd string guy. You're talking about a starting left tackle in Braxton Jones, since 2022. And he gets beat on the inside here. And this is one of those plays that, Ben Johnson and the offensive line coach and Dan Rochar are going to call him out in the film room. This absolutely cannot happen with a vested veteran. And it seems to me that if he is not fully healthy, maybe he shouldn't be playing, but he's fully healthy. He was cleared to play. And it's plays like this that remind you basically saying, hey, maybe Ozzy Trapilo does need to be the starting left tackle. And it's one of those things that Ozzy has had a really good camp. Obviously Ben Johnson and the other players on the offensive line and Dan Rochar have been really high on Ozzy Trapilo. And we're seeing some solid reps as a pass protector when he's getting those opportunities. And Ben Johnson made it very clear that the person that he wants to be at that starting left tackle spot needs to be a solid pass protector. And once again, Ozzy Trapilo has had some really good reps, not only in practice, but in these joint practices and the preseason game as well. But it's plays like this that remind you that, Braxton Jones is who he is now. There's really no more of his ceiling that he can reach at this point. We know what you get from him. It's a very inconsistent pass protector. And if that's the case, at this point, I think they should just go ahead and name Ozzy Trapilo the starting left tackle of this offensive line. I don't think this competition is quite over yet. Obviously, Braxton Jones can rebound for moments like this. But at this point, we know what you're going to get from Braxton Jones. To me, with Ozzy, it's new. It's exciting. He's a rookie. He has so much upside. He's 6'8". He's athletic, right? He's a really good pass protector. When you look at his tape, at Boston College, he's just a physical force. And once again, Ben Johnson was not around to draft Braxton Jones or draft Kiran Amegadjie. He was all over drafting Ozzy Trapilo. At the end of the day, I just feel that Trapilo is his guy that he wants to be the starting left tackle. And once again, just having the benefit of Joe Thuney playing next to you. So as long as Ozzy Trapilo can keep stacking these good practices and stacking some good moments in the preseason action as well, and just make sure that he is really honing in on his skills and developing the right way. I think this competition is very close to being over. And I think at the end of it, Ozzy Trapilo will be the new starting left tackle of the Chicago Bears. So Bears fans, comment down below in the comment section. Let me know if you agree with me. Do you think, the competition should be over? Do you think Braxton Jones should continue to get the opportunity to be the starting left tackle? Or have you seen enough of Braxton Jones and you think that Ben Johnson and the Bears should officially name Ozzy Trapilo as the new starting left tackle of this Bears offensive line? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Kick on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Kick on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Kick on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Kick on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Kick on the Mic.